Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Pol Ke Bol. My name is Pol. Today I'm going to talk about why Marcus Rashford needs to leave Manchester United. So if you guys know a little bit about me, I'm a Manchester United fan. I've been suffering since 2013. I would say it's been almost 15 years now. You could say 14 and a half years since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And being a United fan, I don't think you can call United fans glory hunters anymore. There has been very little glory for the last 12 years. There has been very little hunting because what we have been doing is farming. And by farming, I mean the club. All that it has done, and some of its fans as well, I would say, is that all we have been doing is just farming the legacy that the club has had, the great history the club has, right? That's all that we have been doing. And for the last 10, 12 years, each United fan has been praying to God, whether they believed in God or not, praying to God, like some higher power, to the footballing gods at least. And been like, we need a player who will relieve us of this malaise, who will bring us back to where we belong, right at the top, right? Uh, the best football club in the world. We have to become that again, right? We are meant to be. At least that's what every United fan thinks, and also some opposition fans, by the way. They're scared. They're scared. They know United is going to be back one day, but they're scared. It's okay. So, but we have been hoping and praying for this talisman, this messiah. At one point of time, it was Eric Cantona, right, who took United back to where it belonged. After the 70s and 80s were so bad, after the glory days of the 60s, the 70s and 80s were horrible. United were just a cup team. In fact, they were relegated in the 70s, very badly managed. But in the 90s, Sir Alex came along, and initially, even he was not that great, right? He was not impactful. First 3, 4 years, we were not good at all. And then we got Eric Cantona from Leeds. He was a problem child, but Sir Alex knew how to work with him. He was one of the greatest players of all time, one of the most iconic players of all time. Um, and he brought United, back to being a competitive club, not just in terms of footballing ability, but also in terms of swagger, in terms of persona. You know, that is what Eric Cantona did. Then we, of course, got the young players, the fledglings, and then you had like some incredible signings, right? Ruud van Nistelrooy, uh, like of course Rooney, Ronaldo. That entire period when we had some insane players for the longest time. And even the last great player to be signed at United in my eyes was, Robin van Persie. And that was 2013, obviously, like when we won the league. 2012, sorry, he was, transferred, and 2013 is when we won the league. And ever since then, we haven't had a player who we were like, this is Mr. United, and this is who we want, us to lead, and he's going to make us win games. We got someone, honestly, Bruno Fernandes. He's the closest we have had to that. But that's in terms of leadership, right? I genuinely believe Bruno Fernandes is Mr. Manchester United right now, and he is one of the best players in the world, and definitely the best player at Manchester United. The challenge is he's an attacking midfielder, he's an orchestrator. What United has been lacking for the longest time has been a striker, a lethal striker. We got all sorts of old people coming back. We got Cavani, we got like Falcao at one point of time. We even got Cristiano Ronaldo back, right? Like it doesn't get more OG than that. But they were all old past their prime as usual. So United obviously needed some young talent, and we did have a young talent who we was like, you know what, if we get him along, we are really going to make it. And if he performs, nothing like it, no one's going to stop us. His name was Anthony Martial. Okay, and as we all know, he was a huge failure after a great start. Right, he was French. He was from, I think yeah, we got him from Monaco. There was even a Ballon d'Or clause in Anthony Martial's contract, by the way, that if he wins the Ballon d'Or, United has to pay Monaco $30 million, 30 million euros, I think. Uh, I think even Mbappe is from Monaco. So that entire time, we all knew, okay, this is like a factory of good French players, young French players who are going to change the world. And I would say they definitely did. Martial for the worse and Mbappe for the better, in terms of football at least. And I'll say this, right? Martial was working out fine, but he was injury prone. Everyone knew that. I mean, not everyone knew that, but it was becoming apparent that Martial was inconsistent and injury prone. And in one Europa League game in 2016, we were playing against FC Midtjylland or something. I can't pronounce the name, sorry. I think it was a Dutch club. And we were in the Europa League down in the dumps. Louis van Gaal decides that, you know what, Martial is injured. We need to put in someone, right up there into the thick of things. And there was, as usual, there was an injury crisis at United, and we had like 10 players out injured or something. So we had to go deep into the club's hierarchy, and we went down to the youth setup. And they found that there was this one player who could be, put in the substitutes and the subs and everything in the larger squad, and his name was Marcus Rashford. Now, nobody knew who Marcus Rashford was, right? He was just a man born and bred local boy, amsa mulga, dharti ka manus, and Manchester Manus, Marcus Rashford. Young, thin, very thin boy, 17-year-old. And this guy was basically put into the thick of things against Midtjylland, and he replaced Martial, and we had no expectations, and he just went on and scored on his debut. It was insane. It was incredible. It was a decent goal too. It was nice. And everyone was happy, like, yay, Marcus Rashford, local boy, scored. United has a great youth setup. You're back again. Um, After the high came down of the Europa League, the next weekend, the coming weekend, like Europas are on Thursdays. The next weekend we had a Premier League game against Arsenal. And our injury crisis hadn't improved. It was still there, right? In 3 days, 4 days, you don't improve your injury crisis. Now, I remember, watching that game with my family, and I had absolutely no expectations. I was doing my MBA and everything, and Sham ko game tha, and I was like, boss, I don't have time for this. We are definitely going to lose, but let's see. Anyway, we have to watch. It's a United game. And I got on, and I was like, you know what, whatever. And we were playing some decent football, like Van Gaal played some pathetic football, but that day we were playing some decent football. And guess who scores 2 goals? Out of nowhere, Marcus Rashford. I couldn't believe my, eyes. Like, even today, if I close my eyes, I can see Marcus Rashford scoring that goal and running away, like, like to celebrate. And I was like, wow, this guy has done it. And not one, but two. And I was like, this is insane. This is beautiful. We won that game. It was 9 years ago. It was 8 years ago or something, and it was so beautiful. But that is how Marcus Rashford actually blasted through the screen. And I think he scored like 4 5 goals in his first 6 7 matches. He couldn't stop scoring, he couldn't stop assisting. He was just he was so direct. He was running towards the goal, he was taking his shots. He got his England debut very soon, and in his first ever English game for England, he scored. Of course he scored. Marcus Rashford couldn't stop scoring. And and with him and Martial combining well together, we felt, all United fans felt that this is it. We got a guy. We got Manchester Manus Marcus, and we got him. He's our guy, and he loves us. He's not going to leave us for Madrid. Madrid, he won't. He loves us. He's amazing. We just have to support him. We just have to help him grow, and he's going to be there for the club, and we are going to be there for him. And that's what happened, honestly. For the first 2, 3, 4 years, it was really nice. Although we didn't win much or do much, frankly, as a club, because there were problems larger than Marcus Rashford at the club. And the challenge was, though, like, Rashford, from the very beginning, nobody knew what he was, right? Like, are you a winger? Are you a striker? Are you a left attack or left forward? What are you? And this was becoming a problem even for Jose Mourinho, who succeeded Van Gaal. Like, he's like, I don't know what to do with this guy. I put him on left, he's fine, but sometimes I need him on the right. When I put him on the right, he doesn't perform. I put him in the striker, he's not strong enough to fight off and score for United. He's not a playmaker, clearly. He can of course create chances, but a playmaker is different, right? So he can't orchestrate the game. So what do we do? What do we do with him? And of course, Mourinho was toxic, no doubt about it, right? Like, we had Pogba, we had Martial, we had Marcus Rashford. We had a very promising lineup, but we were still not able to score well, play well, and it was just not clicking. It was just not clicking. Mourinho was fired, and we got the legend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The thing with Solskjaer is, he actually, I think he was at FC Molde in Norway, and he essentially was a huge fan of Marcus Rashford. वो पहले से बोला भाई Marcus भाऊ माझा भाऊ, and he was looking at United as a fan. Turns out he became the manager and he clearly favored Rashford a lot. And if anyone remembers the first 24 games or the first 10, 12 games of uh, Solskjaer was just incredible. We were just winning game after game after game. We were like scoring 4 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, no, not five, 4 goals, 3 goals. And earlier we couldn't even score a single one, right? Like, and then we were playing so freely, so beautifully. The players were combining amazingly. And Rashford was at the center of it. And we were like, yes, now Rashford is going up. He has a manager who believes in him, who loves him. Now he's going to do well, right? Like, this is it. We got it. No, of course not, because at United for the last 12 years, no, that's how it's been. Rashford's form, of course, dropped, and Solskjaer somehow got an extension. But one thing happened which really helped him get an extension was the game against PSG, which I still feel was the greatest moment of Marcus Rashford's career. Like him scoring that penalty against PSG in the 93rd minute. Kimpembe handled the ball. Um, I think that is the best memory I have of Marcus Rashford right after his brace against Arsenal on his debut, on his Premier League debut. Nobody believed we could win that game against PSG. It was right down for them to destroy us 5-0 or something of that sort. Angel Di Maria had destroyed us 2-1. He had dunked on us big time. It was crazy. It was humiliating. We were just waiting to get it over with, but we were watching. I remember watching it with my friend Bharat at his place, and it was one of the greatest nights of my life. I mean, wow, what a beautiful night. And Marcus Rashford had a role to play in it, not that way, but still it was fun. And it was incredible. And that just showed who United was. That game showed who United was, who Solskjaer was, what our spirit was, and also who Marcus Rashford was, right? Like he was Manc born and bred, and he could thrive under pressure situations which lesser players would have fumbled. So it was incredible. I think even back then he was 22 or something. He was very young, and it was incredible. He was extremely young. And doing all of that at that age was incredible. So I would honestly like to thank Rashford for that night in Paris in PSG, Parc de France, uh, Parc de Paris. I think I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, but yeah, screw those PSG guys, arrogant bastards. Lost. Very happy. It was amazing. We thought, okay, new season, new Marcus. Not so much. Not so much. Solskjaer didn't do that well, honestly. Marcus was here and there. But the season after that, like we got Eric Ten Hag, and even in his first season, I think Rashford actually started doing well. Frankly speaking, like that was his best season. He scored 30 goals that season. 30 goals in a season across all competitions is a great achievement, I would say. And I think Rashford did fantastically well. In fact, from December 22 was his best month. I remember he just couldn't stop scoring. And he was scoring from here, there, everywhere. It was just incredible. And just like a couple of months before that, everyone hated it when he took any free kicks because he's skying it all the time. He was one of the worst free kick takers at United and he couldn't stop and this and that. Okay, so the story of Rashford was about inconsistency, right? You never know what to expect out of him. He was a big game player, to be very frank. He could score against all the big teams. It was incredible. So, by the way, in his first 5 games for United, the one of the games was with City, and he dribbled past Demichelis, sat him down, and scored. By the way, so that 18-year-old, 17-year-old boy coming out and destroying everyone in front of him, uh, to the boy who was unsure. I'm a left winger, I'm a right winger, I'm a center forward, I don't know what I'm doing. That was unfortunate. And frankly, even right now, that's the case. Marcus is now 27. He scored 138 goals for United in total. In the Premier League, he has a record of 136 goals and assists. Okay. I mean, not a bad thing. If anyone says 27 years old, 138 goals, in total for Manchester United, single club player, this is what we complain about, right? Oh, we don't have single club players anymore. See, this is why we don't have them, because What happened with Rashford also was, I think his off-field activities didn't help him. He broke up with his longtime girlfriend. He started going out here and there, and he basically, you will find him in New York wearing like jewelry and all of that. Like, a lot of people are like, who cares if he wears jewelry? Huh? Doesn't matter what clothes he wears. I think it matters what clothes he wears. I think it does. Maybe you can call me orthodox. I think Ruben Amorim definitely thinks what clothes people wear, his players wear, matter. Because Sir Alex Ferguson gave a lot of shit about, what clothes United players wore. See, that's the thing, right? It's about discipline. It's about discipline. It's a lifestyle. It's about who you are as a player, as a person, and what institution do you represent. I don't think Marcus Rashford, I think he's been unlucky with his managers. I'll give him that. But also, I don't think he's been the most disciplined he could have ever been. And one thing I don't like about Rashford is that even today, even despite his decent, numbers that he has for United, I think he doesn't run as much as he should. He doesn't tackle as much as he should. I don't think he gives his 100% all the time. The reality was Marcus Rashford was supposed to be in the same conversation as Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., right? I'll give you the example. And, people will be like, oh no, people are very, very harsh on, Marcus Rashford. He's a United player, so the scrutiny is 5 times extra. He's an England player, so the scrutiny is 10 times extra. He's from Manchester. He's black. This, that. You know what? Who else has a very similar trajectory? Vinicius. Vinicius was bought from Sao Paulo to Madrid, right? And this guy had all the recipes to fail because he was joining a Madrid that was a team of world conquerors. Like, no other team has been as dominant as that mid 2010s Madrid. Like, not even the Barcelona team. Let's be frank. It was just insane. Like, 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years, and Vinicius is entering. On what basis was he supposed to succeed? And Vinicius started playing, right? And he failed initially, big time. He was not like Rashford. His start was not good at the Santiago Bernabeu. Was failing, but he kept going. When he started succeeding, his arrogant side came out, which is fine. But the opposition fans didn't like it. Opposition players didn't like it. The media didn't like it. Everyone's against him. Forget that. His own teammates were against him. Karim Benzema was caught on camera asking everyone else in the team not to pass to Vinicius. Marcus Rashford never faced that. And where's Vinicius today? He was this close to winning the Ballon d'Or. Okay, let's be honest. I mean, Vinicius is a great player, scoring in the Champions League final, one of the best players in the world today. If you ask me, the best player in the world today is Vinicius, not even Mbappe. Right? He's been fantastic for like 5 years straight. He's amazing. His attitude can improve, no doubt, but that's a different story. And look at Marcus Rashford. Despite all the support he ever got, like, he was more of a PR footballer than an actual footballer. Like, considering the amount of talent he had, I don't think he did well. Considering the amount of talent Marcus Rashford had, I don't think he achieved even 1/5 of his potential. He could have and should have easily been in the conversation as Vinicius and, Mbappe and players like that, right? He should have been in that conversation. The reality is, I personally feel Marcus Rashford is not mentally strong. He has always found the easy way out every time United questioned him. And every time anyone expected him to be a leader and step up, I haven't seen the maturity from him. Even now, the way he's gone about his exit, like, he's obviously going to leave. He goes to Henry Winter, one of the best journalists in the UK, gives an interview that, oh, I'm gone, I'm going to leave in January mostly, I'm waiting for offers, I want a new challenge. Now, what does that do to Ruben Amorim, right? Like, the new manager that we have. Poor guy, joined us a month ago or so. And this guy is like, man, fuck off. He's still managing it well, Ruben Amorim is still managing it well. But you look at Rashford and it's like, come on, man. What are you doing? You're not helping the club. I mean, he's helped the club enough, right? He's been here with us for like, what, 8 years now. So 8.5 years. So thank you, Marcus, right? But it's time to leave because you haven't fulfilled your potential. And United has made huge errors with Marcus, because what we have done is we gave him £350,000 per week. That's insane. That is something which even Mohamed Salah didn't earn that much. Sadio Mane didn't earn that much. And this is what has been the challenge with United. We made some people believe they were better than they were. And this is how they behave. Garnacho is on his way, by the way, to believe he's better than he is. But hopefully we treat them better. And I think even Ruben Amorim has kind of figured out that I can't deal with Marcus Rashford. And anytime he gets benched and frozen out, he doesn't fight back to get back into the team. He's, you know, like sometimes he does, but I mean, he's not a leader, man. You're 27, you're in the prime of your football career, and you're leaving Manchester United. Okay, maybe for Madrid, no. For Barcelona, no. PSG, they don't want you. Bayern, they won't take you. Maybe he'll go to Bayern. Maybe, I don't know. But is any top club taking him? In January, he's getting a loan, most likely from Saudi Arabia, by the way. Now, that's horrible. You can't leave. I mean, wasn't he even dropped from the England squad? Wasn't Rashford dropped from the England squad? He was not even part of the Euros that happened recently. It's just pathetic. It's unfortunate. It's pathetic that Rashford has the way he's gone about his exit. Right? I would say great player, good player, great at times. Could have been better. Extremely unfortunate, as I said. Right? Could have been so much better. Could have taken United up with him. Can you imagine how legendary his rise would have been if he would have taken United up with him? Can you imagine local boy Marcus taking United up with him rather than wearing those diamond chains and going about in New York? What are you doing? Of course, I mean, his friendship with Lingard didn't help. His immaturity around Pogba didn't help. And his lack of pure leadership qualities didn't help. Like, I don't think so. He's not the package then. He's not the package. He's not what United needed. He's what United wanted, but he could be neither, I would say, after a point of time. And we were paying him, overpaying him again and again and again and again, and that destroyed our wage structure. United is to blame for it. I wouldn't blame it on Rashford. Even I would think I'm on the top of the world if I got 350,000 pounds a week for doing bloody nothing. So I would say it's unfortunate, right? Um, it could have been better. It could have been better. It's a damn shame, but I think Marcus Rashford should leave because he's poisoned the environment now. Just now, Christmas is coming up, like what, in 4 days, and Ruben Amorim has to worry about Marcus Rashford leaving. His most highest paid player is leaving. This is what he's done. I think he should leave. I think Marcus Rashford should leave. Thank you so much. You haven't achieved your potential. You have done great for United, but thank you. Goodbye. And going forward, United should focus on attitude versus talent. Like of course, talent is necessary. You play for Manchester United, but what about your attitude? I think Marcus Rashford lacked mental toughness and attitude, and I think he lost motivation after a point of time because based on his talent, as I said, could have and should have been one of the best players in the world. Anyway, thank you, Marcus Rashford. I think you have done well, but it's time to leave. Thank you.